In this video, I'm going to discuss to you the some important concepts in relation to the magnetic field and the electromagnetic induction. And in our first part, I'm going to discuss first the of this lecture. No, I'm going to discuss first the concept of magnetic field, including the magnetism. And later on, I'm going to show you some solutions in our related problems here. Okay. So, when we say magnetism, it is the property at which a certain material have that permits them to produce or conduct the magnetic lines of force. So, kumbaga, ito yung phenomenon na isang material, okay, particularly magnet, no? So, since from the word itself, magnetism, na makapag-attract sa iba pang material such as iron, no? And because of that, yung mga kagaya ng iron o yung mga magnetic material na kung saan ay na-attract dun sa magnet ay pwedeng maging magnet mismo. So with that, the magnet is an object about which a magnetic field exists. So as long na yung pwede siyang magnet or pwede siyang kahit anong klaseng object, no, at which may kakayahan siya na ma-attract, okay, or makapag-conduct po ng magnetic lines of force, no. So yun, and attracts the pieces of iron and its alloys. So, dito sa magnetism, pumapasok yung tinatawag na induction. No? Okay, at which, yun nga, yung sinasabi ko kanina, na yung isang material, kapag dinikit mo siya sa isang magnet, ay pwedeng maging magnet yung nasabing material na yun. And, pagdating naman sa magnets, meron tayong iba't ibang klase, no, ng magnets. We have the natural magnet, we also have the artificial magnet, no? So, yun po yung mga, kumbaga sabihin natin, mga klase po ng magnets, no? Okay, so we have the natural and the artificial, no? Ayan. So, pag sinabi natin natural, syempre, ito yung mga natural, no? Ayan, natural na, particularly, yung matatagpuan sa mga minahan, kagaya po ng mga iron ores, o yung mga magnetite, no? Meanwhile, yung mga artificial, ito naman yung mga man-made, in which meron tayong tinatawag ng mga temporary at permanent. Pag sinabi natin temporary, so nag-retain lang po yung power ng magnetism by the flow of the current na dumadaloy dun sa magnet na yon. Meanwhile, itong permanent na to, so basically, these are the magnets which are created from steel and its alloys. No? So gawa. No? So mayroon siyang permanent yung kanyang magnetism. Unlike this one, temporary lang kasi nakadepende po siya sa current. Okay, so that's why meron tayong tinatawag na concept ng electromagnetism, no? Kung saan pinagsama yung concept po ng electricity at ng magnetism, particularly dito sa temporary magnets, no? Okay, then each magnet, no, kumbaga yun nga, sabi nga natin, bawat magnet meron nga pong nag-exist na magnetic field. Ano ba yung sinasabi nilang magnetic field? Pag sinabi kasi nating magnetic field, guys, it is isa siyang space or sabihin natin lugar or region, okay, particularly sa paligid ng magnet na kung saan nangyayari po yung tinatawag na force of attraction or repulsion. So, kumbaga parang kung i-relate natin siya sa electric field, so wherein nagkakaroon po ng force of attraction or repulsion sa pagitan ng mga charges, dito naman when it comes to dun sa tinatawag naman nating magnetism naman. Okay, so okay, kung familiar tayo sa magnet, no, basically ang magnet, meron po siyang dalawang poles. Meron po tayong tinatawag na North Pole and South Pole. No? So, N and S poles. No? Wherein, kapag kunyari, North and North poles, syempre, they will repel. No? Pag South and South naman, they will repel also. Pero kung North and South po yan, they will attract. No? And mostly, no, malakas po yung magnetic field, no, dun sa dulo ng magnet, no? So, sa dulo ng North Pole or dulo ng South Pole. Meanwhile, mahina lang po pagdating dun sa gitna. Okay. So ngayon, ito, ipapakita ko lang sa inyo yung concept po ng magnetism pagdating po sa Earth. Ayan. So sa Earth's magnetic field. And actually, ito po yung kanyang magnet, no? So itong South magnetic pole is malapit po siya dito sa North Pole, no? O yung tinatawag na North Geographic Pole. And meanwhile, itong North magnetic pole ay naka-attract naman dito sa South, no? South Geographic Pole. And as you can see, dito makikita natin yung direction po ng magnetic field lines, no? Magmumula po siya mula north magnetic pole papuntang south magnetic pole, no? So, yun po yung concept niya, no, na dito nga sabi nga, no, yung sabing north geographic pole is actually a magnetic south pole, no? Na kung saan na-attract dito yung north pole nung compass. Kaya kung mapapansin natin, itong kulay red, no? So, na-attract po siya dito sa may south magnetic pole or magnetic south pole. Meanwhile, ito naman, yung sa dito sa dulo, ayan, so, yung pag sinabi nating south pole or south geographic pole, so malapit po doon yung magnetic north pole nung magnet. Ayan. Okay? So, yun po yun, no? So, parang, kumbaga ang Earth ay isang magnet din, no? Or yung nasa pinakagitna. Okay. So, ngayon, let's have some properties po pagdating sa magnet. So, gaya nung nabanggit natin kanina, no, yung north and south, they will attract, no? Or south and north, opposite poles will attract. Meanwhile, like poles will repel, no? Then, isang sa mga property din ng magnets is kapag, kunyari, tawag dito, it broken into pieces. Okay, so kunyari, nag-break itong magnet, so, makaka-move on ka agad kasi they will become independent on each other. So, magkakaroon ka ng independent na magnet. So, sabay hugot, no? Okay. So, ngayon naman, ito din, at ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, na kapag yung magnet, okay, pwede niya pong i-share yung kanyang property dun sa mga iba pang materials, such as this one. So, dinikit niya yung magnet, no? Whether it's a south pole or north pole, anyway, wala naman kasi itong, di ba? Wala naman kasi siyang magnetism sa simula, no? Magkakaroon lang po siya ng magnetic effect kapag nadikit na po siya sa magnet. So, dito makikita nyo yung mga pako o yung mga nails ay dumikit, no, dito sa magnet. So, basically, magkakaroon po ito ng tinatawag na temporary magnetism. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, pwede pong maging magnet ang isang material kapag malapit o nadikit po siya sa isang magnet din. Okay? So, ayan po yan. Ano pa ba? Well, ang magnet din, kailan ba, sir, pwedeng mawala yung property ng magnet? Well, pwedeng mawala yung property ng magnetism sa isang magnet kapag, let's say, pinukpok, ayan, o di kaya pinainit siya dun sa tinatawag na Curie temperature. So, pakisearch na lang kung ilang degree Celsius yun. Or, kapag kunyari nalaglag, no? Nalaglag siya from a particular height, no? Siyempre, kung medyo mas mataas, so, pwedeng masira yung magnet, no? At mawala yung magnetic effect or magnetism ng isang object na yan. Okay? So, ngayon naman, let's go to some terminologies na related nga dito sa magnetism and magnets. So, pag sinabi nating unit pole strength, so basically, ito yung kalakasan ng unit pole to conduct magnetic lines of force, no? Okay? So, yun lang naman yung sinasabi niya dito sa unit pole strength, no? Meanwhile, we also have this magnetic force. So, of course, kung meron tayong electric force dun sa electric charge, dito naman, instead na electric charge, ito yung mga tinatawag natin mga unit poles. Okay, wherein the force exerted by one pole or one magnet on another to attract or to repel it. Okay? So, actually, meron po siyang Coulomb's law. No? So, hindi na natatanong, meron din siyang sariling Coulomb's law. Wherein, para malaman mo yung F, so you're going to consider let's say, yung tinatawag na unit pole strength. So, unit pole strength, basically, in terms of, M, no? M. Ang kanyang unit po is, usually, tinatawag na Weber. Ayan. So, Weber, ayan, let's say, meron tayong dalawang poles. So, let's say, M1 and M2. So, M1, M2, then over 4 pi. Instead na yung permittivity constant dun sa electric charge, ang gagamitin natin dito is we have this mu O, mu R, no? So, yung mu O is what we call the permeability. Again, that is permeability. Okay, hindi po permittivity. Permeability at free space. Meanwhile, itong isa, dahil may subscript na R, ibig sabihin that is the relative permeability. And then, the square or the square of the distance between the two poles, no? Okay? So, kumbaga, meron din siyang sariling version ng Coulomb's law din. Okay? So, when it comes to magnetism. So gaya nga ng nasabi ko kanina, no, pag sinabi nating magnetic field, yun nga, it is the region outside, no, particularly the magnet, okay, or magnetic material in which the poles or its pole, no, the unit poles experience a magnetic force, whether it's force of attraction or repulsion. Then ito naman, meron din tayo tinatawag ng mga magnetic lines of force, okay, so wherein these are the imaginary lines at which yun nga po nangyayari yung attraction or repulsion, no, at the magnetic field, no, okay, na kung saan naman yung kanyang direction nung magnetic field is tangent dito sa mga lines na ito. And basically it is not necessarily po na meron tayong magnetic lines of force, yan na din po yung tinatawag din nating yung direction din ng force mismo o ng magnetic force, no. So ayan, mapapansin niyo po, ayan, tangent po siya, okay, yung direction po ng magnetic field with respect dito sa mga magnetic lines of force, no. Okay, so now let's go to this one, okay, magnetic flux. Okay, this is the totality of the magnetic lines of force in a magnetic field, and it is represented by a letter or Greek letter P, no? Capital nga lang, no? So gagawin lang natin siyang capital. So ito na siya. Okay? So kumbaga ito na yung total ng lahat ng magnetic lines of force. Okay. Then yung magnetic flux density naman, ito naman po yung dami ng mga flux na dumadaan sa isang unit area through a plane at right angles to the direction of magnetic flux, no? So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, dito natin malalaman yung direction po ng magnetic field sa pamamagitan po ng magnetic flux density. So we have the ratio of the magnetic flux with respect to or over the area. So pagdating naman sa mga units, so ang unit po ng magnetic flux, so take note natin, we have Maxwell, okay, and Weber. Yan. So, kanina nabanggit na natin si Weber, which is a unit po ng magnetic strength, no? So, Maxwell, this is named after James Clerk Maxwell, no? So, ito po yung gagamitin natin under CGS system. Weber naman, so ito naman yung gagamitin natin for SI, no? Ayan. And then, meron pong conversion itong Maxwell at saka Weber. So, we have 1 Weber is equivalent to 1 times 10 raised to 8 Maxwell. So, take note na natin yan, no? Okay, then dito naman, ang magiging unit natin ng flux density, okay, will be, okay, so kung Maxwell, dito sa magnetic flux, dito naman we have Gauss. Ayan, okay? So, Gauss, or simply letter G, so ito yung sa CGS, then, Tesla naman, no? Okay, so Tesla naman, named after Nikola Tesla, ayan, pagdating sa SI unit. And 1 Tesla, okay, is equivalent to 10,000 Gauss. Ayan. So, take note na natin yan, yung pagdating po sa magnetic flux density. Okay. Ngayon naman, let's take a look at this one. So, let's say merong isang electric charge, no? It's either positive or negative, that moves across this magnetic field. And that charge will experience a force. And, yun nga, merong direction kasi itong si magnetic field, okay? And then, itong si charge ay gumagalaw din. So, makaka-experience po siya ng force, no? So, it is given by this vector operation. So, we have this charge, okay, a scalar quantity being multiplied by the velocity vector cross product with the magnetic field density, okay, or magnetic flux density. Ayan. So, then, pagdating naman sa kanyang, so, since naka-cross product, so, gagamit po tayo ng sine function. So, sine of this angle. So, yung magnitude po ng force will be equivalent to the product of the charge in coulombs. Ayan. So, since SI unit tayo, V, velocity in meters per second, and this magnetic flux density in Tesla. So, therefore, yung force will become in terms of Newton. So, then we have this sine angle. Since, yun nga, yung function nga po pagdating sa vector product. So, itong angle P na ito, this is the angle between this magnetic flux density or magnetic field and the velocity. Okay. Then, pagdating naman sa CGS unit, so we will have this formula wherein yung Q po dito is in terms of coulombs pa rin. Yung velocity is in terms of centimeter per second. Yung magnetic flux density in terms of Gauss. And this force is in terms of dynes. No, dynes. D-Y-N-E-S. Okay? Then, of course, may sine angle pa rin dyan. Then, pagdating naman sa direction, so paano ba natin malalaman yung direction ng force, okay, ng moving charge across this magnetic field? So, sa pamamagitan po ng right hand rule. Ayan. So, sa pamamagitan po ng right hand rule, mapapansin natin, itong thumb, no? Thumb will represent the force, no? So, yun ang take note natin. So, the thumb will represent the force. Meanwhile, yung velocity, it will be represented by forefinger, no? O yung hintuturo. Ayan. So, yung thumb is, sa Tagalog, hinlalaki. Ayan. Then, yung middle finger naman is yung magiging direction po ng magnetic flux density. So, you can check your right hand, no, kung tama ba yung natin, orientation natin, no, when it comes with respect dito sa positive charge, no. Then, paano sure kapag kunyari negative charge naman, yung gumalaw or gumagalaw across a magnetic field? So, may iba po yung orientation yan. Since negative po kasi to, so magiging malaki po ang epekto niyan pagdating din sa direction ng force. So, halimbawa, negative charge po ito. So, negative charge. So, dito yung magnetic field. Let's say, kasi ito naman yung sa sa velocity. So, ang magiging direction po ng force will be going down. Okay? So, may iba kasi negative to siya. Okay? So, ito, applicable lang to kapag positive ang charge. No? Ayan. So, pag positive lang po yung charge niya. Okay, meanwhile, kapag negative, ayan siya. So, ganyan po ang mangyayari sa kanya. So, magiging baliktad naman po. Then, kapag kunyari, let's say, pag naman yung natin, ayan, ito yung, let's say, this is the, the magnetic field, then, ito naman yung kanyang velocity. Ayan, so, pag ganun, so, it will become going up naman. So, magiging ganyan naman yung direction ng F. So, kabaliktaran lang po siya pagdating sa positive charge. Okay? Ayan po. Yan. So, next tayo. Okay. So, yan po. Take note na po natin pagdating sa moving charge across a magnetic field. Okay. Then, we also have the magnetic field strength. Ayan. So, this is the force acting on a unit pole being placed at any point in a magnetic field. So, pwede rin siyang tawaging magnetic field intensity or pwede rin po siyang tawaging magnetizing force. Ayan. So, ito po in terms of letter H. Ayan. So, we have the ratio of F with respect to the unit pole strength. So, ito yung nabanggit natin kanina na unit pole strength. So, wherein ang units niyan pwedeng, okay, pwedeng Newton per Weber kapag SI. Then, kapag CGS naman, tatawagin natin siyang Oersted. Ayan. It was named after Hans Christian Oersted na may kinalaman sa, sa study ng electromagnetism. Ayan, later on, no? Okay. So, CGS naman to. Okay? So, ngayon, marami pong madederive na formula, no? Depende po sa kung anong klaseng conductor or setup yung mangyayari. Okay? So, this is for the force or for the magnetic field strength. So, kanina, may nabanggit tayo kaninang parang unit ng or formula pagdating sa magnetic force. So, you can derive that. So, M, let's say M. Ayan. Then, we also have another M. And so, let's have tawagin natin itong M prime, kunyari, then this one M prime, over 4 pi EO, permeability nga pala tayo, no? Ayan, permeability. So, we have mu O, ayan, mu R, then R squared, then all over M prime. So, you can cancel that. So, therefore, you can have, in terms of this magnetic unit pole, so, we can have this one. Okay, so you can have that magnetic field strength, no? Then, when it comes to permeability of a material, so, ito na, no? Yung permeability, ano bang ibig sabihin ng permeability? It is the ability of a material to conduct magnetic flux through it. Ayan, so, that will be a product of this permeability at free space and this relative permeability. So, this is relative permeability. So, ito pong relative permeability po, depende po sa magnetic material. So, later on, madidiscuss din natin yung sa magnetic materials, no? At ano ba yung level ng relative permeability ng bawat isa. Then this one, this is at free space. Ayan. So wherein, ang value niyan is equal to 4 pi times 10 raised to negative 7 Henry per meter. So this is constant po yan. So if you're going to check dun sa inyong mga calculator, particularly yung mga Casio 570, ayan, so hanapin niyo lang po yung constant number 33. So kung ang permittivity is 32, ang permeability naman is 33. So this is for SI unit or SI unit of system, no? Okay, SI system of units rather. Okay, then kasi pagdating sa CJS kasi, so this is mu O. So pagdating sa CJS, mu O is equal to 1. Okay, pagdating naman sa CJS. Okay, and as you can see also, the permeability can be defined as the ratio of the magnetic flux density with respect to the magnetizing force. So meron po silang relationship, itong magnetic flux density at itong magnetizing force or the magnetic field intensity. That is in terms of this permeability. So ayan, take note na po natin yan, no? So that is the ratio of flux density being produced in that material to the flux density produced in the vacuum by the same magnetizing force. Ayan. Okay. O, tandaan na po natin yan, ha? Yung mga, ano dyan, mga values. Okay. So now, let's have the other terms here. So we have this magnetomotive force. Okay, this is the force that drives or tends to drive the flux to a magnetic circuit. So, later on, mababrought up din natin yung tungkol sa magnetic circuit. Ayan. So, kung baga, kung in analogy po, no, kung sa magnetic circuit, we have MMF, no? So meron tayong MMF. Sa electric circuit, meron tayong EMF. Ayan. O the electromotive force, di ba? So, sounds familiar, di ba? Motive force. So, kumbaga sa magnetic circuit, we have this magnetomotive force. And, it is equal to Ni. So, ano ba yung Ni? Yung N is the number of turns and I is the current. No? So, actually, yung concept ng magnetism natin, so, syempre, nakabase dito yung concept ng principle of operation ng mga machines, particularly yung mga motors, generators, and apparatus kagaya po ng transformer. Which is, transformer po ay isang example po ng matatawag nating magnetic circuit. Ayan. So, number of turns, kasi di ba may number of turns din kasi dun sa transformer. Ayan. Then, multiplied by the current. So, familiar kayo dito sa formula na to, di ba? Yung sa transformer, yung sa pag-derive ng transformation ratio. So, that is SI unit po yan. Pero kapag, ito naman, so we have 0.4 pi Ni. So, that is in terms of CJS unit. So, ang unit po, ng bawat isa, no, ito, yung sa may SI, tatawagin natin siyang ampere turn. So, di ba? Ang dali lang, no? Ampere turn. So, or 80. Ayan. So, ampere. So, i-multiply mo na yung current na ampere, tapos yung number of turns, turn. So, ampere turn. Okay, ito, ang tawag natin dito, so, bakit kaya may 0.4 pi? Ayan. So, anyway. So, 0.4 pi Ni, pagdating sa CJS, ang unit po nito ay Gilbert. Ayan. Okay, or GB. Ayan. So, yan po pagdating sa magnetomotive force. So, mamaya, meron tayong mga, of course, some problems na related po sa magnetic circuit. Ngayon naman, kung ang magnetic circuit, syempre, ang ginagawa niya, o yung MMF, ay ginagawa niya is drive the flux. So, dito, kung flux sa magnetic circuit, dito naman, current, no? Electric current, no? Okay. Ngayon, syempre, hindi makukompleto to kung wala yung resistance, no? Pagdating sa electric circuit. Pagdating sa magnetic circuit, tatawagin natin siyang reluctance. Ayan. Okay, reluctance. Ayan. So, reluctance is the one that opposes the production of magnetic flux in the material or in the circuit. Ayan. So, actually, wala siyang parang definite na unit. No? Kumbaga, naka-base lang siya din dun sa units ng magnetomotive force and flux. No, actually, mamaya malalaman nyo rin, no? Or kumbaga parang base dito, since we have voltage here, di ba? Voltage yan eh. So we can say that the magnetomotive force is equal to the flux multiplied by the reluctance. So, ayan, so gawin na lang natin siyang ganitong pagsulat ng reluctance in terms of letter R, no? Ayan. Okay? So, nakabuo tayo ng parang Ohm's law pagdating naman sa magnetic circuit. Okay? Then, ito pa yung ilan sa mga definitions. So, you can check and read na lang po. Magnetic potential, intensity of magnetization, magnetic susceptibility, ayan. Then, we also have the coercive force, the remanence, and the retentivity. Okay. So, eto na. Punta naman tayo sa mga classification ng mga magnetic materials. Actually, itong mga magnetic materials ay nakadepende po dun sa permeability or relative permeability. So, okay, so we have ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, and the diamagnetic. So, pag sinabi natin ferromagnetic, so ito yung sabihin natin mataas yung kanyang permeability. So, wherein yung kanyang relative permeability is much greater than unity or 1. Okay, so ibig sabihin, malakas ang magnetic field strength, okay, nitong mga klase ng material. So, kumbaga, madali silang madikit sa mga magnets and madali silang maging magnet, no? Ayan, so mga example niyan, syempre yung iron, ayan, iron, Fe, ayan, cobalt, and nickel. Okay, so those are some examples of ferromagnetic materials. Meanwhile, ito namang magnetic materials. So, meron silang relative permeability na sabihin natin slightly greater than 1. Okay, so kumbaga, para ang dating, yung sa ferromagnetic, pwede siyang around mga, let's say, malaki sa 1 eh. So, pwede mga hundreds or thousands. Dito naman, mga slightly greater than 1 lang. So, sabihin natin mga 2, 3, ganyan. Okay. And are magnetized slightly. So, slightly na mamagnetize sila. So, ilan sa mga yan ay ang aluminum, platinum, at oxygen. Ayan. Okay, then ito, we have the diamagnetic. So, kabaligtaran siya. Wherein ang kanyang magnetic or relative permeability po ay slightly less than unity or 1. Okay, ilan sa mga example ay ang mga bismuth, okay, silver, copper, and hydrogen. Ayan. Okay, so yan ang ilan sa mga example po ng mga tinatawag nating magnetic materials. Kumbaga sa electric materials, meron tayong conductor, semiconductor, and insulator. Dito, ito naman yung tatlo, no? Yung ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, and diamagnetic. Depende po sa kanilang relative permeability. Okay. So ngayon naman, punta tayo sa concept po ngayon ng electromagnetism. Pag sinabi kasi natin electromagnetism, it is the study wherein inaalam natin yung magnetic effect ng electric current. So ito po, may mga nauna ng mga gumawa ng mga naging experiment before. So ito po, yung sa compass needle, may kilalaman dito si Hans Christian Ørsted. No? Hans Christian, yung narinig nyo naman kanina yung, tama ba yung Christian? Correct me if I'm wrong na lang po ha. Ørsted, ayan. So, wherein, gumamit po siya ng compass dun sa isang wire na sabihin natin may current. So, kung mapapansin natin, kapag dumali daw yung current, let's say, ganitong direction, so, yung direction ng kanyang, itong kulay red is going here, no? Dito sa may northeast. Okay? Meanwhile, kapag ganito naman yung direction daw ng current, is papunta naman ng northwest. So, kailan siya magiging north or kailan siya mapupunta ng north? Kapag wala pong dumadaloy na current. So, kumbaga dito nalaman na may epekto pala ang electric current sa magnetism. Okay, that's why na-brought up yung si electromagnetism. And then, hanggang sa nagpatuloy yung study pagdating kina Joseph Henry. So, mamaya makikilala nyo pa si Joseph Henry. And then si Michael Faraday, no? So wherein gumawa sila ng mga iba't ibang experiments na kung saan kapag nilapit ang isang magnet papunta sa isang loop, magkakaroon daw ng electric current, no? Yung loop. Ayan. So later on, ayan. So mabubuhat up natin 'yan sa mga susunod nating mga discussion. Okay? So now, let's take a look at the magnetic effects of electric current since yun nga yung pinag-aaralan pagdating sa electromagnetism. So, ano bang nangyayari, no? Dun sa conductor kapag may dumaloy na current. So, ito po, ang sabi dito, kapag daw may dumaloy na current, okay? Kapag may dumaloy daw na current dun sa conductor, so there will be a magnetic field, no, na magsiset up along this conductor. So ngayon, kung mapapansin din natin, paano yung itsura ng mga magnetic lines of force? Pa-circle. no? Pa-circular. Ayan. So, kung mapapansin natin, di ba? Ayan. So, pa-circle, no? So, ito yung kanyang perspective view. Okay? And then, paano malalaman yung magiging direction ng magnetic field, okay, with respect dun sa current na dumadaloy sa conductor? Ito, makikita natin na kapag daw, ito, pag ganito siya, let's say, pag ganito, ayan, okay, so, kunyari, may wire in plane of the paper. So, ito yung kanyang magiging direction ng, let's say, ito, nakalatag siya ng paganyan. So, pag ganito, going to the right. So, magiging direction daw nung magnetic field is, ito, ang ibig sabihin nito, papunta po, palabas po ito ng screen. Okay? Ito, palayo ng screen. So, actually, parang arrow lang yan eh. So, parang ganito siya. Okay? Ayan. So, ito yung pinaka-front niya. Ito yung dot. Tapos, ito yung parang may X. So, dito yung may X dyan. Okay? So, ayan lang po. Ngayon, para mas maintindihan natin yung magiging direction po ng magnetic field, depende po dun sa current na dumadaloy sa conductor. So, let's have this one. Ayan. So, we have these two ways para malaman natin ang direction ng magnetic field base sa direction ng current. So, sa pamamagitan po ng Ampere's right hand rule. So, kung paggalawin nyo lang yung kamay nyo, yung kanang kamay ninyo, so yung thumb will represent the current. Meanwhile, the rest of the fingers will represent the direction of the magnetic field. So, halimbawa, pag ganito siya, so makikita naman natin na parang pa-clockwise. Yan, clockwise. Mukhang clockwise siya. So, kumbaga, kung ituro nyo po yung, let's say, let's have some exercise ng kamay, ha? Okay? So, meron tayo kaninang right hand rule dun sa pag gumagalaw yung charge dun sa magnetic field. Dito naman, we also have a right hand rule na kung saan malalaman natin ang direction ng magnetic field depende sa current. So, ituro nyo po yung hintuturo, hindi hintuturo, hinlalaki, dun sa screen ng inyong cellphone o ng inyong laptop. So, ang magiging direction ng magnetic field dapat clockwise. Okay? So, dapat clockwise po, ha? Ngayon, kung halimbawa, papunta naman sa inyo yung hinlalaki nyo, kunyari, nakaharap kayo ngayon sa screen or nakaharap kayo sa laptop or sa cellphone ninyo, ituro nyo sa sarili nyo yung hinlalaki. So, dapat ang magnetic field ninyo po, ang direction niya dapat counterclockwise. So, yun lang naman po yun, ang ibig sabihin, no? Then, bukod dyan, meron din right hand corkscrew rule. So, hindi naman po siya nalalayo. So, ito, kung nakakita naman po kayo siguro ng pambukas ng cork ng mga wine. Okay, so ganito po yung action ng magnetic field at saka ng current. So, yung current, kumbaga, habang binabaon mo itong bakal na to dun sa cork, so, ito po yung nagre-represent ng direction ng current. Then, yung pag-ikot mo is gamit ang kanang kamay, okay, can be represented by or represent the magnetic flux, no? So, ayan lang naman po, no? So, pagdating po sa pag-determine po ng direction ng magnetic field base sa direction ng current. Okay. Ngayon naman, okay, let's have kung kanina, di ba meron tayong nabanggit kanina na kapag yung conductor ay gumagala, or yung charge rather, gumagalaw sa magnetic field, nagkakaroon po siya ng force. So, ganun din, no, kapag kunyari, yung current carrying conductor, okay, ay nilagay mo sa magnetic field. So, makakapag-develop po siya ng force. So, kapag daw, ayan, ito nga, so, makakapag-develop po siya ng mechanical force, okay, being equivalent to this vector operation. So, vector F is equivalent to L, so that is the length of the conductor, then multiplied by the current, okay, being cross product with the magnetic field. So, in terms of magnitude of the force, so we can have this one. So, gagamit tayo ulit ng sine function. Okay, since cross product to. So, wherein itong angle na to is basically, it is the angle between the magnetic field and the length of the conductor. Okay? Ayan. So, yung L is the length of the conductor in meters. Yung I is the current in amperes. B is the magnetic flux density in Tesla. Then, being multiplied by the sine of the angle, then that will be equivalent to the force in Newton. So, that is under SI unit. Meanwhile, ito namang isa. So, 0.1 BIL sine P is equal to F. So, yung B, magnetic flux density in Gauss, current in amperes, length in centimeter, then the force is in terms of dynes. Okay, under CGS. Okay? So, ngayon naman, paano naman natin malalaman yung direction naman ng force acting on a conductor? Ayan. So, gagamit po tayo ng kaliwang kamay ngayon. Kaliwang kamay naman tayo. Okay, this time. So, ayan, ito lang, obvious naman, meron tayong kamay dito na nakikita, kaliwang kamay. So, yung direction of force will be represented by the thumb or hinlalaki. Magnetic field will be represented by the forefinger or the hintuturo. And the direction of current will be represented by the middle finger. Okay? So, iwasan lang po natin na pag kunyari, tinanong kayo kung paano yung direction ng current, so wag po natin itataas ang middle finger nang hindi po nakataas ang forefinger o hindi nakalapat yung forefinger at ang hinlalaki. Ayan, or thumb. Okay? Ayan, masama yun. Ayan. Sige, next tayo. Ngayon naman, okay, let's have this force between current carrying parallel conductors. So, sa pagitan naman ng dalawang conductors. Ayan, let's say. So, I will just draw. Pasensya na, wala akong na-provide na figure. Ito drawing ko na lang, no? Okay, so let's say, meron pong current na dadaloy dito. So let's say, this is I1, then I2. Yan, so may current. Siyempre, meron pong length yan, diba? So, nagkataon lang po na parehas po sila ng length. Ayan, so we have this length. So, yung length natin, it can be in meters or centimeter, depende kung anong system of units ang gagamitin. Okay. And then, syempre, dahil nga sabi natin kanina, kapag may current, may magnetic field. So, dito, ang direction ng magnetic field natin is, ganyan, no? Tama ba? Using your right hand. Okay, tama. Okay. Then, ganito itong isa, no? Yan. Syempre, magiging direction ng magnetic field natin will be mostly, dahil nakatangent, no? So, ito, pag ganon. Yan, tama ba? Yan, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, okay, pakicorrect na lang po ako, ayan. So, ito pa yung magiging direction ng magnetic field talaga. Okay? Ayan. So, ang direction niya is going down. Ayan. At dahil nga po, yung kanina nabanggit natin, di ba, yung sa kanina lang, no, yung force on current carrying conductor. So, paano kaya magiging direction ng F natin? So, gamitan po natin ng kaliwang kamay. Pag ganun. Ayan, pag ganun siya. Ayan, kasi ito yung magnetic field natin eh. Okay? So, gamitan nyo lang po siya ng yan, kamay. Okay. Sige, now let's go to the next concept. Magnetic field intensity. Okay, so due to a long straight current carrying conductor. So, halimbawa, meron tayong sobrang habang conductor na infinite na po yung haba. No? Ibig sabihin, hindi na natin ma-determine yung haba. So, let's say, kumuha lang ako ng portion. And, again, yung direction ng current, let's say, pag ganun siya. So, parang, ang gagawin mo lang naman, is aalamin mo lang naman yung gaano po kalayo or gaano po kalakas yung intensity sa paligid ng conductor na ito. Okay? Or sa paligid itong current carrying conductor. That's why we have this R. Okay? That is the perpendicular distance from a certain point around this current carrying conductor going to the surface of this conductor. So, ayan po, malalaman natin yung kanyang magnetizing strength. So, by using this formula, I over 2 pi R or 2I over 10 R kapag CGS. Okay? So, again, ang unit po ng magnetic field intensity is Newton per Weber or, actually, pwedeng Newton per Weber, okay, yun. Newton per Weber or Oersted. Okay? Next. Pagdating naman sa long solenoid, so we can have this formula, no? Basically, ang solenoid kasi ay binubuo po ng mga turns of wire. Ayan. So, that's why, ang ginamit natin dito is Ni over L. No? Yung L is kung gaano po kahaba itong, yan. Okay? O, tama ba? Ayun. Kumbaga yung length nung solenoid. Ayan. So, tama. Ayun. Axial length. Okay. Axial length ng solenoid. Okay? Ayan. Then, we also have this one. Ayan. Parang siya, no? Parang dating nito, parang yung kanina, no? Yung parang magnetizing, yung MMF kanina, di ba? So, parang ganun lang din siya. Okay? Then, pagdating naman sa circular coil, no? Wherein, syempre, parang, kung babalikan lang din natin kanina yung solenoid, no? So, yung R dito, it represents the radius of the coil, no? Tapos yung N, again, number of turns na meron sa circular coil. Then I is the current flowing through the coil, no? So, we can have this formula, ayan, Ni over 2R or 2 pi Ni over 10R. So, tandaan na po natin yung mga formulas po pagdating sa magnetic field intensity. Then, for this one, okay, yung torque naman. So, pagdating sa torque, okay, pag sabi kasi nating torque, parang ito yung twisting moment, no? Okay? So, torque on a loop carrying current in a magnetic field. So, considering a current carrying loop with this plane area. So, let's say ito yung kanyang area. Okay? And of number of turns carrying a current of I. So, pwede natin malaman, no, yung kanyang torque sa pamamagitan nito. So, dito, mapapansin nyo po, ito yung direction ng magnetic field, let's say. Then, we have this what we call mu. Ano yung mu na yan, sir? Yung mu, yan ang tinatawag nating magnetic dipole moment. Okay? Wherein, that is equivalent to the Ni, A. Ayan, in magnitude po. No? Yung number of turns multiplied by the current multiplied by the area of this loop. Okay? So, ngayon, kung mapapansin natin, itong magnetic dipole moment is being perpendicular, no, or normal dun sa surface area. Kung mapapansin natin siya, no, yan, titingnan natin maigi, di ba? Okay, so perpendicular po siya dito sa surface or sa plane area. Okay, then this one we have this magnetic field. Okay, and kung mapapansin natin yung direction ng force is pa ganyan, no, ayan, pa ganyan siya, no, wherein it will result to couple, no, couple sila, equal sila in magnitude, pero magkaiba ng direction. So, that's why, dahil equal sila, so, the net force there will be 0. So, wala pong 0. Pero, meron siyang torque. Okay? And that torque can be computed by this one. Okay? So, the net torque on a loop, provided that the magnetic field is uniform, so, we can have this one, NIA, then we have this unit vector ng magnetic dipole moment na pinakita natin kanina, no? Ayan. So, wherein it is normal dun sa plane area. Being cross product with the magnetic flux density or magnetic field. So, ngayon po, we have this following formulas here. We have this one. So, kung nagtataka po kayo, sir, bakit cosine, no, ang ginamit? Kasi, yung angle kasi dito, guys, is the angle, no, between the plane, okay, and the field, no? So, ito yung sa pagitan ng plane at saka ng field. Okay? Yan. Yung plane area at saka ng field. Okay. So, ngayon, let's have the magnetic circuits naman. Okay, so dito, pag sabi natin magnetic circuit, so kung babalikan din natin yung concept ng electric circuit, it is just a closed path in which a magnetic flux is intended to be established or built up. So, kung sa electric circuit, kailangan ma-establish yung flow ng current, no, along the closed path. So, dito naman, kailangan ma-establish po yung magnetic flux sa closed path. So, gaya nung nasabi natin kanina, in analogy, we have this magnetomotive force being equal to the flux multiplied by the reluctance. Okay. And, yung reluctance pala, guys, since it is a resistance, no, para siyang resistance ng magnetic field, okay, yung reluctance, no? So, meron siyang mga factors that affects the reluctance. Number one is the length of the material. Pangalawa is the area, no, cross-sectional area. Pangatlo is the permeability. Okay, or sabihin natin yung nature ng material or ng core na gagamitin. No? Actually nga pala, when it comes to this one, magnetic circuits, since may mga coils tayo na gagamitin, coils, so, coils, meron po siyang core na tinatawag. Yung core, yun yung dyan po nilalagay yung coils, no? Dyan sa core. No? Yung core na yan, pwede siyang air, pwede siyang kahit anong klaseng material or metal. No? So, kumaga dito, yung sinasabi natin permeability po ng core na nilalagay or na pinapalibutan ng mga windings or ng coils. Okay? So, those are some factors. Nakalimutan pa ba tayo? Ayan. Okay, so wala naman, no? Yung nature, ayan, yung permeability. So, therefore, pwede natin sabihin na yung reluctance is equivalent to the length over the, ayan, yung mu O, mu R times the area. So, dito naka-ano lang siya, naka-express na siya as absolute permeability. Ayan. So, we have that one. And then, okay, so we can also express this as HL, no? Kasi kung titingnan natin, guys, 'di ba, yung ito, this is the magnetic flux density, 'di ba? Yung ratio ng flux at saka ng area. Tapos since naka-divide din siya dun sa ano, okay? So naka-divide siya sa mu. So equal to H. Ayan, so pwede rin 'yan. Okay? Ngayon, since nabanggit natin yung resistance dito sa or reluctance dito sa magnetic circuit, so meron din tayong tinatawag na series reluctances at parallel reluctances. Okay? So since circuit ito, so may mga pagkakataon po na yung mga materials, okay, ay pwedeng naka-series or pwedeng naka-parallel. And makaka-apekto po dyan yung itong mga to, yung lead area at saka yung permeability, as well the magnetic flux as well, no? Okay, since series nga, kung sa series circuit or series resistor circuit ay constant yung current, dito constant naman yung flux. Kung dito naman sa parallel reluctances, constant naman yung magnetomotive force. Okay? So, parang ano lang, no? Analogy lang. Okay? So, pag kumuha ka ng equivalent reluctance pagdating sa series, so, you're just going to add everything, no? Then, pagdating sa parallel reluctances, okay? Ayan. So, ganun lang din. Ayan. So, yun lang naman yung gagawin, no? Pagdating po sa magnetic circuit, no? And for our next video, ipepresent ko naman sa inyo yung mga iba't ibang solutions sa mga problems na isosolve natin under the topic magnetism and magnetic field.